It may be dreary and dark clouds all around us, but it's a beautiful day at Hale's headquarters because LIEnette and John CROOK have further incriminated themselves, only helping our cause, and we're going to show you how. We've shown you that LIEnette actually sent an email to our local mayor where we live at Hale's headquarters. We've got to break this down a little bit, and so you understand what the illegal things is that she's done. We're going to share with you what she was really thinking and how she got to that point. In an earlier video, we actually showed sitting down at a table at lunch with another mayor. Now, what LIEnette doesn't understand is I have multiple friends. I get it. That's difficult for an individual that doesn't have multiple friends to understand that there are people that do, because we have a tendency to think that the only thing that everybody else is like us. That's her view, is everything is about her, therefore everybody is like her. Well, no. If she's got this, I may have this. The world is much bigger than she actually understands. So she thought she would actually one-up us. Well, she emailed the wrong mayor. She thought she was emailing the mayor that she saw in an earlier video, and that was not the mayor where we live at Hale's headquarters. By the way, it's okay to have friends that are mayors. As a matter of fact, George, how many times has LIEnette posted that she's good friends with in Northport?
In the screenshots that we've gotten, she's mentioned multiple times that when she lived in Northport, she was good friends with the mayor and the commissioners, which technically are the council members. And she's also posted none of them have ever supported her cause or her turtle rescue.
You're saying none of them have ever...
None of them.
None of them ever helped her. None of them ever visited.
According to her posts that she posts on Facebook and social media.
Well, there's more posts, and we've got all the screenshots. Now, in this video, we're not going to show all the screenshots. There's just too much, and we've shown screenshots in the past. There's a plethora of screenshots. So John CROOK would go into the Northport politics page, and he would just verbally bash the individuals involved in the local government there. So suffice to say, let's clarify one thing. Number one, while she wants to claim she was friends with the mayor and the commissioners, I seriously, highly doubt that whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I personally believe that they probably have an annual celebration on the date that LIEnette and John CROOK left Northport. They're probably on their third annual celebration this year. Like, yeah, yes, they're gone, and they're like, oh, sucks to be Otter Creek. Yeah, well, it kind of does. It honestly kind of does. In her mind, you can't be friends with mayors, but she thought she was going to email the mayor where we live at Hale's headquarters that she saw on a video. That was not the mayor from Hale's headquarters where we live.
My admins today got this email. First, They got 3 phone calls threatening that they were taking a video clip of yourself to the news if we didn't answer. So,
Okay. Perfect.
My admins thought that it was a little strange. But as soon as they got the opportunity, since I don't work full time, they couldn't wait to tell me that a crazy lady.
Okay, it's LIEnette, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
LIEnette. All right.
And called our office multiple times, 3.
Okay.
That's harassment.
You have to understand, LIEnette doesn't just come up with these ideas. LIEnette is actually very, very, very heavily influenced by moles. You're going, Jeremy, wait. She said there are no moles. Oh, I can assure you, 100%. There are moles, and those moles whisper in her ear, and those moles guide and direct her. Now, these same individuals, they bicker back and forth, but if one of the moles comes along and goes, hey, why don't you send something up in Ohio? Where do you think that idea comes from? Or if one of the moles guides and directs and says, here's some information, I think this could be good for you, where do you think that comes from? In other words, what I'm trying to say is LIEnette has broken the laws in Ohio, which is great for us. Now, I'm going to share this with you so that you can understand. In Florida Florida is a state of freedom, and we love Florida. Florida is an incredible place. The downside of Florida, within all of those freedoms, Florida has a habit of actually protecting the criminals as well. Now, Ohio is pretty heavy and hard on crime. As a matter of fact, in Florida, to get a, what's one of the things we've been trying to get on them in Florida?
No contact order, restraining order.
Yeah, restraining order. Okay. So to get a restraining order in Florida, this is the craziness. I can't even comprehend and wrap my mind around it. So to get a restraining order in Florida on John CROOK and LIEnette, which keep in mind, they stalked us. They literally stalked us to Otter Creek. Okay?
To move across the street.
To move across the street in hopes of getting money from us. To get a restraining order on them, they have to commit 2 crimes. They have to be prosecuted for those 2 crimes, and then the state of Florida will actually give a restraining order. So in other words, they can fire at George once, and she still heal from that. Fire at George again, and she heal from that, and then we can get a restraining order. In other words, there's no preemptiveness to stop the actual crimes happening. Now in Ohio, the stalking, the restraining orders, they're given out like candy. And that's the beauty of what she's just done. And you could then go, well, Jeremy, isn't that kind of like baiting the criminal and the victim? You know, is this like Dateline where they bait them online and then bring them in and interview them? Is that like setting up a speed trap for LIEnette and John CROOK? Well, any way you look at it, if you go, Jeremy, you baited them to cross the line into Ohio so that you could get a restraining order that will keep them 200, 500, maybe even 100 feet away. Any way you look at it, they did the crime. And therefore, they're going to have to pay the price for that. Now, the very first thing that should be going on in your mind is, okay, they live across the street from you. If you get the restraining order, and they've done this in Ohio, which they have, if you get the restraining order, will they have to remove themselves from their property? Because that restraining order, they've done it in Ohio, will take effect in every other state, no matter where we're at. Town hall, our own property. I mean, I may just literally go to the edge of the road on my own property, and they would legally have to be removed. So you may be thinking, okay, Jeremy, she didn't come up with this idea on her own? You mean she's being guided and directed by other individuals? She's absolutely being influenced by other individuals. When she says there are no moles, I can guarantee you 100% there are moles, and they are many. We're going to share that whole email and break it down with you again. We've got a lot to digest in it. The illegalities of it, the things that she's lying about. You know, she's got diabetes, but there's other around her that have diabetes as well. I mean, it's an infection that keeps spreading. And that you may find it interesting that nobody would have ever followed LIEnette unless we ever brought attention to it on What the Hales. George and I find it extremely funny when there's individuals that say, I haven't followed What the Hales for 3 years, and then
a lot of them say I stopped following What the Hales years ago, but there they are in her group.
So,
how would they have found her group?
How would they have ever found their group if they weren't watching What the Hales? I mean, this is just complete and total humor.
Maybe they're the moles too, but we won't say.
You never know. They could all be the moles. But even within her small following, and it's an extremely small following, there's so much inner conflict that's ridiculous. For example, you got Marli Huge, okay? There are people who go, Jeremy, why do you use names? Why do you have to use names? Well, let me clarify for you. When you have a platform as big as What the Hales, it literally is for their own protection. It is for their own protection. Because with a platform as big as What the Hales, all of those individuals could go after those individuals if I used their correct names. So you've got Marli Huge, and let's face it, I mean, come on, I'm a Garbage Pail Kids fan, and therefore I'm living real life Garbage Pail Kids. She's a liar, and she's huge. Marli Huge just makes sense. So you got Marli Huge, who isn't a fan of Shark. And you also have Victoria, who is all against Shark and thinks that Shark's going to get them all thrown in jail. And so you've got Victoria against Shart, and Shart against Victoria, and Marla against Shart, and it just keeps going on and on. But yet, LieNette's got her little minions doing her little thing. Like Victoria's out there trying to gather up as much information as she possibly can. And Victoria got her black web person to try and hack us and take everything from us in our life, all in the name of LieNette. It's one of the biggest jokes in the world. They can't even stay in tune with one another. The inner fighting is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. How do you feel about it?
They're definitely turning on one another, and it's pretty sad that LieNette has developed a small following of cultists and bots in her group.
Well, and one of them being another YouTuber that she thought, oh my goodness, gonna take up my cause. And yet that same person claims victimitis. And now she's turning on that person as well, going, all you do is make it look like I'm guilty. Well, that would be because you are. Why would they do it? Well, it's their 10 seconds or their 15 seconds of fame. That's what they want. They want to jump on board and try and get some fame. That's the reality of it. For us, it's our real life. This is really happening. This is the real deal. And I know from the outside, you're just looking in and going, there is no way these people can be real. They are 100% real. As a matter of fact, one of our fans who was following LieNette just sent a message as well and let us know, this is crazy. LieNette is using this following to message anybody that jumps on. I also find it creepy that LieNette messages random people on Facebook for donations to her foundation, and it's a good cause. She messaged my wife's cousin asking for donations. Never said any amount. When told no, she claims it's because it's my wife's cousin's a Hale supporter. She's taking any small following she can and illegally trying to raise money yet again. Remember, everything is under that 501c3, which we are going to make a formal request for all documentation as a 501c3. So she's, again, using a platform of what the Hales, haters are coming over, moles are coming over, and she's still that pathetic to actually ask them for money as well. And you may be asking yourself, okay, Jeremy, how in the world did we ever get to this point on What the Hales? What the Hales started as storage units. Well, let me back you up a little bit. What the Hales never started as storage units. What the Hales, my very first videos, started as camping hacks and camping. And I do storage units. And I did a storage unit, the people liked it, I kept doing storage units. And then I vlogged my life. That's what the Hales has become. It's become a scrapbook, a video scrapbook of my life. It's for myself and George to look back out on. It just so happens that it's in a public format, and we invite you to watch if you want to watch. If you don't like it, go watch something else. It's really that easy. So it's for us. This is what's happening in my life. That's how it's become to this point. And now it's the issue of saving a child, saving the townspeople. There is not one person that I can think of in Otter Creek that is okay with these two being there. And they claim that the entire town, 100 people, somehow support them. Yet they've blocked all of those same people from all of their Facebook pages with all of the garbage they post. So this is how we've gotten to this point. Protecting a child, protecting people, and those animals in captivity not cared for correctly. How could anyone in their right mind give any money to this psycho? And I know you still want to know, are we going to see Otter Creek on A&E? And the answer, well, I'm about to share with you. So A&E absolutely contacted us. We shared that information with you in another video. And you can see all of that under the playlist of Otter Creek, okay? And A&E then went in negotiations. Well, it was me that went in negotiations. They specifically wanted the video where John Crook brandishes the firearm at me. Now, what they wanted to do was actually edit that down. And what A&E wants for their neighbor wars, they want the most foul-mouthed, disgusting, fighting, all of it. The worse it is, that's what that whole program is about. So they want to have to bleep out foul language. They want the interactions. They want the blows and the throws. And so what I went to them is they said, hey, we want this. Can we share it? We'll pay you this much money. And I said, have you even looked at my entire playlist of Otter Creek? They went, no. And then he went and looked at it. The producer looked at it. He was like, holy cow. He goes, give me the 10 best and emphasize on this guy that's pulling out firearms on you. And I went, okay. And I said, I'll try and give you the 10 best. And I gave him the ones like with the finger carving and the whole deal, you know, the middle finger. And he said, we'll pay you this much. And I went, no, you're not going to pay me that much for my own content. I own the content. If I want to sell the content, I have the right to sell the content. It's the same as a musician. Musician makes music, they sell their music. It's the same as somebody who makes a movie. They make a movie, they sell the movie, you pay for it for the entertainment. So it's my content, they're requesting it, I can sell it. So we were in negotiations. They did not offer me enough. As a matter of fact, my response was, listen, I'm the one that's putting my life out on the line. I'm the one that has a firearm pointed at me. I'm the one that's been stalked by these literally mentally unstable, psychotic individuals. It's like, that is an insult, what you've offered me. So we negotiated a price, and we did come up with a price that we both agreed upon for 10 episodes. Now, what happened after that is a little bit different. They said, Jeremy, we want just the worst of it. We don't want your 45-minute episode. We want the worst of it. We want the foul language, the fighting. That's all we want for that same amount. And I said, you get the episodes unedited or you don't get the episodes at all. And they went, well, we don't want the full episode. We'll pay you the same amount just for the worst of the episodes. And I said, no. You take the whole unedited episode or you don't get the episode. It airs as it happened or it does not air. And so the producer went back, talked to other producers, and they said, okay, at this time, that's not where their channel is at, and that's fine with us. We don't mind either which way. But it would be nice for Otter Creek to get a higher amount of exposure to more people, because what that ultimately would do, it would absolutely force somebody to do something to save the child. We're about to get into the email and dissect it. Linda Emerson, 7914 says, this woman has no punctuation. Who does she think she is? Jamie Joyce? Ulysses. Apart from the unintelligible grammar and syntax, the woman makes one fallacious argument claim after another. There's no more logic in tracking the flight path of an insect than there is trying to establish her point. Please call the police for harassment, making threats, John Crook, trespassing, and everything else. Slap the pair of them with a libel assault and bring the feds in on her sanctuary ruse. These people are crazy with a capital K. Somebody's going to get hurt. You probably just hurt her feelings right there. You're a bully. The reason why she has no punctuation is she holds her phone and she uses talk to text. And she also states that she can never leave Harley's side. So every ridiculous thing you read, she has said in front of the child. The child is repeating all the vulgar things that John Crook has said, talking about different anatomy, parts and pieces. It's insanity is what it is. I can't understand how anybody in the world would be okay with this. Now, some of you have found Harley's legal or birth mother, and you've sent us all the information. I'm going to make a simple request. I'm sure this individual has gone through enough pain in her life she doesn't need to go through anymore. If you want to share what's happening to Harley with her, feel free. You can send links. We are not going to intervene in that aspect at all. Unlike LieNette, who attempted to intervene with our local mayor. Now, keep in mind, this is from LieNette, not Michelle. LieNette, not Michelle. Michelle is her daughter's legal name. Her legal name is LieNette, with at least 39 other aliases that we are aware of. Now, we have to put a little bit of background on this. From what we have been shared with by our local mayor, she called the office 3 times, threatened if she did not get in contact with the mayor that she would call the local news station. Now, the other thing that's happened is her stepdaughter has shared what in regards to LieNette's mom and LieNette's actions?
Her biological daughter.
Oh, it was her
has
biological,
shared
okay.
That LieNette's mother, which would be her biological daughter's grandmother, is known to call mayors, call the local news, call the White House, and just demand and make all these threatening phone calls if they don't get their way or to be heard or make some type of point.
And that puts us in a situation where we are more concerned for Harley than ever before, because this is a taught process of, frankly, insanity. I mean, if I was a police officer, the first thing I would do is take aluminum foil out to her house and wrap her head in it, because that's what makes insane people calm down. Wrap the head in tinfoil. That's what I would do first. So she contacts the wrong mayor that she thinks she's contacting. She actually contacts the mayor where we live. The mayor in the previous video that we've aired was nowhere near where we live. Not anywhere near where we live, and has been a friend for over 15 years. Again, keep in mind, mayors can have friends, YouTubers can have friends, but apparently self-proclaimed journalists can't, because they want to say that it's wrong for other people. And tortoise rescuers, apparently they can't either. That's not allowed. It's not unless you live in Northport. If you live in Northport, you can be friends with mayors and commissioners. If you live in Otter Creek, those people are not allowed to have friends. Neither are YouTubers. So this is the ridiculousness. This man has bullied our town clerk into a stroke. Let's stop right there. We've shared all of the screenshots. LIEnette has posted publicly all over Facebook that Mary was corrupt, Russell was corrupt, Stewart was corrupt. John CROOK has posted all over Facebook. Mary was corrupt, Russell was corrupt, Stewart was corrupt. Excuse me, what was that?
Don't forget the lawyer. He attacked the lawyer as well.
He said he graduated at the bottom of a class of 1,000.
Correct, and he's referring to Attorney Warm.
Okay. So the screenshots all exist. They didn't disappear. They're all there. And again, we've shared some of these in the past. You can go back through the playlist and you can read them. All right. These are individuals, while we weren't even in Otter Creek, LIEnette, John CROOK are attacking Mary, Russell, Stewart. All of these individuals, they were attacking them. Pure and simple. To the point of putting a 4x8 sign in front of a turtle sanctuary, which is illegal when you are a 501c3. 501c3, people go, oh man, it's a nonprofit, you can't make money. You're a fool if that's what you think. 501c3 is their tax status, it's not a business plan. Every business needs to make profit or it doesn't exist. You can't exist not making money. You have to make money or you can't exist any further. Now, I say that specifically because there's a very foolish, very, very foolish YouTuber out there that obviously does not understand what a nonprofit is, okay? So if you go, oh, Jeremy, you're being very derogatory towards me. No, I'm being very derogatory towards another fool. All right. So in regards to that, they're the ones that were harassing Mary. They're the ones that were harassing Russell. They're the ones that were harassing Stewart. I am not the one that started recording town hall meetings. George, would you like to share with the public who started recording town hall meetings?
It was actually LIEnette and John CROOK who started recording the public meetings. And they were both in the room together at the time. So who was watching the adopted child?
Now, all of those meetings can be found online. As a matter of fact, you can find them, some of them, on our page. We've sampled those, and since they're public meetings, we've actually used them as part of our material as well. John CROOK, LIEnette were recording these meetings for a year and a half before we ever picked up a camera and started recording them. As they're claiming corruption, as they're claiming, backdoor deals, as they claimed everything. And here they are flipping like a fish because they ain't got a hope in the world now to stay in Otter Creek. And now they're begging Russ the Sus to save them. And so what they want to say now is, Jeremy bullied to the point of a stroke. Your health has nothing to do with me. Mary's health has nothing to do with me. LIEnette's health, as she claims, I'm only 90 pounds now. You're trying to kill me. You're a bully. You should have never opened your mouth. You should have made the right decisions in your life. You're the one that put yourself in this situation. Nobody put you in your health situation except for you. You're the one that's proclaiming you're so blessed to have an outdoor toilet that you're pooping on, and you have a 3-year-old living in a shed illegally in the state of Florida, going out to poop in a bucket as you dump her diapers on the side of a road. He's bullied and belittled me and humiliated me. Let's clarify. You humiliate yourself. Every single foolish thing you do, you further humiliate yourself. If you're not completely and totally embarrassed, the world is for you. The ridiculousness of you even reaching out into another state, into another town, to another mayor. You look like a complete and total fool. You further have incriminated yourself against George and I, and we're going to get into it later how you incriminated yourself against Otter Creek. So I've bullied and intimidated. No, what I've done is I've shared the truth. And yet you continue to lie and lie and lie. You've got liabetes. That's why your name is LieNette. He's bullied and belittled me, humiliated me, and destroyed my tortoise rescue. Let's get something extremely clear. Number one, what you have is not a tortoise rescue. What you have is a junkyard dump, which tortoises should be saved from. They need to be rescued. They don't need you. They need to be removed, put back into the wild, and rescued from people like you that live in utter filth and that are proud of it. Nobody has destroyed your tortoise rescue. You never had a tortoise rescue. You attempted to try and create a 501c3 so you could get out of taxes, so you don't have to work, so you can try and claim donations from other people as you're messaging random people on Facebook begging for money. How despicable are you? How humiliated you should be in these acts, doing these things. And the worst part of it, you've brought a child into this. Absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrible. You're using a child. You are literally using a child to try to raise money instead of working and getting a job. That's pathetic. That's humiliating. Here's a picture of her toilet. That's what she's so proud of, her outdoor bathroom with a child. Now, it goes further than that because now she's begging on Facebook Marketplace. She's in need of PVC drain pipe with holes in it. Why? Because she wants to use that as a drain in her bathroom. You think we're not going to call the health department? That isn't going to be tied into the septic by any stretch of the imagination. You think that's going to be okay? I can guarantee you that will not be okay, especially in Florida where they protect wildlife and the land more than they do people most of the time. So this is the issue that we have. She's destroying herself, humiliating herself, and the turtles. You think that's going to drain right into the turtles? Into the tortoises? That'd be my guess. And with total lies, called CPS with false allegations 7 times. All right. Called CPS with false allegations 7 times. Now, to be very clear, I've called CPS 1 time, and I've been very upfront about when I did it, why I was doing it. She doesn't even grasp in her mind. By the way, a lot of this turmoil started in the town because she had her drug-addicted daughter living in a shed, and her drug-addicted daughter said she was calling CPS on her for Harley. LieNette pushed her drug-addicted daughter out of the Gladiator door in the road, moving vehicle. And when her daughter actually called, that was call number 1, she blamed it on other people in the town. Now, people in the town have literally witnessed her at other town hall meetings, other meetings, smacking Harley in the head. Open hand in the head. And her other children have confirmed online as well. That's what she used to do to them. And it got a whole lot more physical with them. And we've shared links for all of that. The information is all there. All you have to do is go and grab it and listen and watch and see it. So 7 times. I called CPS 7 times with lies. No, I called 1 time with truth. Do you realize there are 6 other people? One of them is one of your moles in your group that you think is one of your besties. Is it Marlai? Is it VM? Is it Shart? Who knows? Well, I do. You don't, but I do. 7 times so far, CPS has been out there. Be clear. LieNette met some of these individuals in anti-government, anti-CPS groups. And this is exactly, I'll let you talk about this. What did she used to do to her own kids?
From my understanding, based on YouTube videos that were sent out by her children, and if you read the chat, she would call CPS, DHS on them, FBI on them multiple times for no reason, making false accusations.
All right, so you're thinking she has Munchausen's. It's Munchausen's, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think
By
so.
proxy. We know from her own family, which all have reached out to us. As a matter of fact, she even tried to get her grandson to reach out to us, and I ended up blocking him because grandkids don't need to be a part of this. She tried to get her grandson to reach out to us to get information from us. That's how foolish she is. Nobody. We have to reach out to nobody. And I blocked her grandson. They've all come flocking to us. This is who they really are. This is what they're really about. This is what they've done. This is what's going to happen. And they continue down that same path and process. Okay? So we already know her mom was diagnosed. As far as we know, there's never been an official diagnosis for LIEnette of Munchausen's by proxy. But we've got 7 times, allegations of 7 times. Now, I want to be very clear. She continues to say this is all lies. CPS has found out that I am not in violation 7 times. 7 times. No, she has an open investigation. There's a case file that's open. The case is not closed. She has certain things that have to be done on deadlines or she's in trouble. And that's the only reason why you see things actually happening. That's the only reason why you see things that are getting mowed, why garbage is now going to a dump,
And the outdoor
why
bathroom.
the outdoor bathroom is actually getting brick or it's getting whatever it is in it. That's the only reason anything has happened, because I brought light to this situation. We've brought concern for the daughter, for Harley. How much do you think would have happened if we never started reporting this?
They would have just let it slide and let it go, thinking that it was okay for the adopted child who's 3 to live that way, which is not okay.
So, they have an open investigation. The investigation is not closed. She has not been found not guilty. She has an open investigation. Deadlines and things must be done, or big problems for her down the road. She says it's all because I ran. By the way, this is the only comma. You see that comma right there? That is the only comma you will see in this huge, psychotic run-on sentence. All because I ran for a seat and he thought I might get it over Therese Granger, who at the time I thought was my friend. I had been on speaking terms with Jeremy. All right, let's clarify something. First of all, she did run for a seat on the council, and the people of Otter Creek did not vote her in. And you want to know what did her in? Her ridiculous Facebook page. This woman is psychotic. And the people are sitting there going, holy cow, we would never vote in somebody like that. What did you think about some of those postings back then?
Back then, they showed her true color, her ugly color. People do not trust her. Why would they vote for someone that they don't trust and doesn't think that they're mentally stable? Not to mention, she's also mentioned that she's disabled. So how could she possibly attend any meeting every month if she can't trust anyone to watch the child, because John is an abuser and she can't trust the child around him? It makes no sense for her to run if she could never attend the meeting. If she's listed A, B, C, D, and these are the reasons why, she wouldn't be able to attend.
All right, so let's go even further on that. She said she was on speaking terms with Jeremy. All right, to the point of she actually, this has all come out by her grandson's mother now. She told her grandson, come move with me to Otter Creek. My YouTube friends will give you a job. One of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life.
And housing.
Oh, and housing too? Okay, so she was going to get a job and housing for her grandson?
Correct.
Through me.
Again, this was all in a YouTube video, and if you read the chat, it's in the chat.
Okay, so this is something she told her grandson. Now, I do want to share, she was texting me. And as a matter of fact, you see the long rants that we've shared in the past, such as this one in this email, they were 10 times longer. I wouldn't even read them. The only way she even got my number is she messaged us through What the Hales at Yahoo. In the beginning, she said, I'm your new neighbor. Can you come over and help with your tractor and push a tree? And me being a good neighbor, like most neighbors are in Otter Creek, I said, sure, that's great. She was my new neighbor. Didn't know she's a stalker and psychotic at that time. Learned a lesson. Do not give your number out to neighbors. learned a very valuable lesson. Never ever give your number out to neighbors until you know 100% for sure. And that entire time, George kept telling me, what did you think about her texting me and talking?
Oh, she abused the fact that she had your number. She would send, if you're familiar with how she types and her long rants, she would send rant after rant after rant after rant, and then would get upset when you didn't respond to her, or would respond to her with just one word answers like, okay, and then would keep texting and texting.
I have no clue other than that what happened or why this took such a turn, but you need to see the real Jeremy Hales, not the one he shows you, and everything he has said about the people. Okay, what happened? You moved into Otter Creek. You destroyed Otter Creek. Now, I'm not saying Otter Creek was perfect before. Obviously, there's major issues. Russ the Sus is corrupt. Mary is corrupt. But you are beyond what anybody could have ever expected. You have major issues that only professionals are going to be able to help you with. That's it. What happened? You started to attack all the neighbors. Once your daughter called CPS, you started attacking our current mayor and her husband, stating that they did it. During that time, they came over when John is unconscious in a shed with urine all over himself. Our current mayor, Therese, literally picked him up, got urine all over him, saved his life.
They left Bible study to come help.
Saved his life. And LIEnette was saying all the same garbage that she says about us. And they still are that good of people. I mean, I can't stress that enough. That's how good of people they are. Because if she would have texted me, I would have never shown up. I would have never helped at all. That's how good our mayor is. That's why she needs to be the mayor and not me. Because I've got an agenda. The only agenda is get rid of those two. And that's going to happen. 100% going to happen. But she wants our current mayor to see the real Jeremy. But don't you realize you just showed our current mayor the real you? You are mentally unstable. You are psychotic. And you literally incriminate yourself every time you open your mouth, voice to text. I'm sure you don't type. It's insanity. The world is looking at you and going, this can't be real. And yet it's 100% is. I don't know what goes on in your mind, but you need help. And I don't know what goes on in John's mind, but he needs help. And you two are never going to get it in Otter Creek. You have burnt literally every bridge as you two jump from place to place to place to place. Madam Mayor had a reason for getting to be mayor. They were not following the laws in Florida. For the EPA, they are not following the rules under the zoning and permitting. So now they're giving themselves the permits they need. They've given the vice mayor a permit. Well, let's just stop right there with Madam Mayor. She's claiming that Madam Mayor is breaking the law and wait, hold a second. Wait. Did she just literally say that she was breaking the law and all against EPA, and yet she's going to drain her bathroom just anywhere on 1.6 acres in Florida? And she's talking about them? Okay, I hold a second. I got to see this again. All right, they're breaking the rules under the zoning and permitting. Yes, in Florida for the EPA. Yes, they are she's 100% stating that, as she's going to drain her outdoor bathroom and toilet and everything just in a random drain tile. All right, so here's what happened. Shady Oaks Campground, great campground. George and I stayed there for a couple months before we moved on to our property on the ranch. And they have septic, and they've been expanding, and they had all county permits to expand. Once, remember, we've talked about Laura Mott, who was the mayor, but then stepped down to run for commissioner. Laura Mott stepped down to run for commissioner. Well, honestly, what we think is Russell was probably pushing her to step down to run for commissioner, because that would put Russell back in the mayor position, which is exactly what happened. So the campground had all their legal permits provided by the county, approved by the town under Laura Mott. And then when Laura left to go run for commissioner, guess who got to be the mayor? Russ the Sus. And guess who immediately put a kibosh to the permit, which were legal? Russ the Sus. Now, what could Shady Oaks do? Well, they could sue the town. How much does it cost to sue the town? Right now, just in a records request, I'm almost $5,000–$6,000 into suing the town. And it could be up to $50,000. Goes to trial, it could be more than $50,000. Who has $50,000 laying around to sue a town? Instead, you wait for the right people. And the county wouldn't get involved. Who's the commissioners of the county?
One of Russell Meek Sr.'s son is on the county commissioner of Levy County.
Nothing sus about that at all. Nothing sus about that at all.
I think a brother or cousin is also on the commission.
So my lawyer is representing me, but it was the same lawyer representing them and telling them, listen, this is going to cost you $50,000 and you better to just wait and see if they vote him out, which the people have done. So illegally, their permit was taken away by Russell. They've given the vice mayor a permit that he needed that he was not getting from the county, from the administration, because he wasn't following rules and literally stealing. This is crazy. Are you ready for this? Land from someone else. Okay? So let's just stop right there. Do you understand, first of all, that the people who are permitting now for LIEnette and John CROOK are Therese, are Zim, are the current council. And here's LIEnette saying, oh, by the way, our mayor illegally has a permit now that she gave herself. No, our mayor had a permit pulled when she wasn't the mayor illegally by Russ the Sus. And that's under investigation right now. Okay, so let's back up. Now she's literally stating that the vice mayor is stealing land. Now, I don't know about LIEnette and John CROOK, but if I needed permits in the town of Otter Creek and they came from the mayor and vice mayor, I surely wouldn't be saying these kind of stupid, foolish, slanderous things that put me in a legal liability position, number one. But number two, these are the people you need to help you. These are the people that you need to help you. How do you think they feel about you? Because I know if I was mayor, and this is why I'm not mayor, you'd never get a thing from me. Nothing. Ever. And you'd go, Jeremy, wouldn't that be like Russ the Sus? 100%. It'd be like Russ the Sus. You said, but Jeremy, you're a Christian. I'm a Christian because I'm not perfect and I want to be a better person. Could you imagine what somebody would have done to these two if they were in my position and they weren't a Christian?
Christians aren't perfect. If Christians were perfect, they wouldn't need Jesus. It bothers me when people say that, oh, Jeremy's a Christian, he shouldn't do this and he shouldn't do that. Well, what's the saying about the log in someone's eye or casting the first stone?
So let's keep moving on. So these are the people that they need. She's stating that our vice mayor is stealing land. All right, well, if in Otter Creek you can just up and steal land, what's to stop me from going and stealing their 1.66 acres, 50% in LIEnette's name, 50% in John CROOK's name? Why shouldn't I just go over and steal their land? I mean, if you could just literally pick up and steal land, what's stopping me? Maybe I'll take the 0.66. Maybe I'll just take the full 1 acre. What's going to stop me from stealing land? I mean, are they stealing land? How do you just say this stupid, foolish, ignorant stuff and think anybody in the world is going to take you serious? Then she says, and now Miss Granger is under investigation in our town for not following sunshine law and for doing bad things. Okay, so let's get something clear here, okay? She's talking about an investigation, and she's talking about a very specific investigation, and I happen to know what this investigation is. And you're going, well, Jeremy, how do you know what this investigation is? It's because we have moles. And so she's been talking about this with her moles. As a matter of fact, there's been an internal fight between her and Marli Huge. Marli Huge said, you should tell us all about it. You're not proving you trust us if you don't tell us about it. Here's what you need to know. The fact that she's even brought this up is complete and total legal liability on her part. There are some investigations that we can talk about. I can talk about the investigations in regards to Russ the Sus and Mary. That's all been brought to us by the council. There are other investigations that happen on a state level that are confidential until it's released, that it's illegal to talk about. We know about it because we have a mole that's sharing the information. And not only that, John CROOK and LIEnette can't even shut up about it. They have to keep posting. We have such important work that it's so important we can't let anybody know about it. And John CROOK, oh, it's coming, and they know it's coming. Let's see what they do. It's insanity. These two fools literally incriminate themselves over and over and over and over again. And in this email that is cross state lines, they further incriminated themselves. And what are we doing with the email? Well, I can tell you right now, the state has it. Where are all the texts going? I can tell you right now, the state has it. We've supplied it all based on what they've said, based on what they're saying in their group with their moles. Are they our moles? They're somebody's moles, but there's lots and lots of moles. They're holy moles. All in my opinion, of course, because once you see the video, you'll understand. Thank you and have a very blessed day. All right, well, the mayor's already seen the video that she shared. The video that she's talking about is when John CROOK, so let me back up a little bit. Brett and I are driving to my property, to the ranch. We're dropping off my trailer where we just unloaded it. Brett and I unloaded it. Travis was there. Brian was there. We all unloaded it, had the heaviest safe in the world in it. We unloaded it at the schoolhouse. We're bringing my trailer back. And I appreciate Brian being there, Travis being there, Brett being there. You know what good friends and neighbors do? They help each other. And I was thrilled that they were helping me. We're driving back, and we dropped the trailer. We're going back to the schoolhouse. John CROOK is literally on my property.
Waiting.
He's on my property waiting. Okay, now you have to understand, these two are lying about everything now. Now, I understand there's only a small group out of all these people that have seen their lies. Everything from he was on his way to the market, he's pointing the wrong way to go into town, to he forgot his credit card. No, he's literally sitting on my property waiting. He's waiting on my property. Now, let's get to something else. I have a new fence and a new gate, and the automatic gate closers are coming really soon. But right now I have to get out and I have to manually close the gate. So we pull up to the gate, I get out, we close the gate, we pull up. I tell Brett, you know what? Stop right here. I'm going to take care of this right now. John CROOK has literally told me he will go toe-to-toe with me anytime.
Get toe-to-toe with you any day. You're a coward.
Aren't you supposed to be in the hospital with septic?
Aren't you supposed to be in a fucking gay fucking porn movie?
Well, if I was, people would actually watch and listen. They don't listen to you.
Be jamming something up your ass.
He has said the most vile, vulgar things about George, his anatomy, George's anatomy.
It's disgusting. And
Okay.
we've shared those screenshots with you on our previous live streams and in pre-recorded videos as well. Him stating that he has pictures of his private parts in my mouth on several occasions.
Not only that, he constantly talks about my backside, like constantly, and about his private parts, my backside, a certain type of adult video. And again, we have all that. We've shared that as well. I mean, we're not going to go back over all that. This is like a woman being constantly hit on and being harassed by a man in any venue, except the one that's being hit on, it's literally, it's this. It's right here, and it's constant. And I'm sick and tired of it. It's harassment. It's adult harassment. The man is literally infatuated with my backside. So there's no doubt he's in love with me and my buttocks. We all know that. And I have no desire to give him any portion of this. Now, I have a great desire to go toe-to-toe with him, but not other parts of the body. This man is disgusting and vile, and he continues to harass me on that level. If it was in the workplace, you'd file harassment, right? And that person would be fired. If it was outside in a setting and it kept going and going and going and going, you know, if you were looking to pick up somebody, you swing at them, right? Till it's done. Well, I would love to, but he was too big of a coward to actually get out of his vehicle. The man is in love with my backside. Now, I only bat for one team. That's Team George. Right?
Who, me?
Yeah, that would be Team George. He's a switch hitter, which we've all know because LIEnette has shared that. He hates women.
He has no respect for women.
None at all. You don't have no respect for my backside either. The only thing LieNette accomplished in this email sending to our mayor is our town laughing and going, holy cow. Can we go down to Otter Creek and help you with these people too? Shelly Hall wants to know, did LieNette contact the news station? Because she did say after 3 phone calls if she didn't get in contact with our local mayor that she would. Well, LieNette has further gone on to say that our local mayor is corrupt because of our video with our local mayor. Wait, hold a second. So Russell was corrupt, now he's not corrupt because you need him. Now our mayor is corrupt here. You don't even know him, you've never met him before, and he gives us a public document. You are the fool that emailed him. That's a public information. You are the fool that made contacts through phone call, which is all public information. Now she wants contact for the local news station. I can only imagine the local news station, how many crazy people they have calling on a daily basis. Cat ladies and tortoise ladies and you name it. And the aliens are coming and, the YouTuber talked to his mayor and his mayor thinks I'm a crazy lady. Because you are. We would love it if she would contact the local news station and this got even further and further and further broadcasted. People already know she's crazy. She just continues to confirm it. And the more people that learn about Otter Creek and this story with LieNette and John Crook, the more probability of saving the child and saving the townspeople.